We're back, and we're joined by the roundtable tonight. My favorite part of the show, Congressional Quarterly's Craig Crawford, who knows many things. He's an MSNBC political analyst. And Melanie Morgan is a radio talk show host from out west, and also chair of Move America Forward and author of American Morning. And Naomi Wolfe is a founder of the American Freedom Campaign and author of The End of America. God, that's fun. First up, Mueller's notes. More news today on that now infamous hotel or rather hospital visit back in 2004, the one that looked like a scene from The Godfather. FBI Director Robert Mueller's notes say that then Attorney General John Ashcroft was feeble, barely articulate, and stressed shortly after a visit by Andy Card and Alberto Gonzales, who wanted Ashcroft to approve a warrantless wiretapping program. FBI Director Mueller also said the dispute was over a singular program, which also contradicts Gonzales' testimony that it was just about various activities. Is this it for him? Melanie Morgan, is Gonzales in trouble because the FBI director not only has a memory but notes that contradict his testimony?
Look, Chris, this is just such an inside game from Washington, D.C. I can't believe how much fascination is enjoyed by you guys watching this story. It is a Democrat gotcha game of Alberto Gonzales, and frankly, I don't care one way or the other whether it goes or stays. I don't have any emotional investment in him. I have disagreements with him for a lot of different reasons. But what I would like to say is that anybody who truly doesn't get what a dangerous world that we live in should just take a look at this wireless wiretapping program. It was a valuable and important one, and it still is. And if there was pressure applied by Gonzales, then good. We need it.
Even if it was on a sick man in a bed. If it was over a sick attorney general in his bed.
You know, that's just the reporting on it. I will believe that.
No, that's the memory of James Comey, the former deputy attorney general, the testimony of the FBI director. I mean, it's pretty mounting, this evidence of what actually happened. You're saying it didn't happen.
Come on, I'm not saying that it did or didn't. I wasn't there, and I don't know. But what I do know is that we needed that program, and I'm really glad that if there was pressure applied, that it kept it in place, because otherwise Americans could die.
Naomi Wolfe, the end justifies the means or not here?
What's scary to me about listening to Melanie and various people at the White House is how Orwell describes that people who want to close down an open society don't just lie, they make lies the ground of the discourse. There's this extraordinary fudging of reality, not just to change the record, but to disorient us. I think that we have to get it, that what they're up to isn't just about abuses of democratic process, it's about an end run around democratic process. Why is it so scary what they're going to get away with? Gonzales isn't going anywhere, and we keep saying, oh my goodness, how can this be? How can this be? How can he still be there? It's an outrage, because we still think they're playing democracy's game by democracy's game rules.
What kind of Orwellian discussion are you having? What is it you're referring to, Naomi? What is it exactly that happened that all these big bad people in the Bush White House did that was wrong about the wireless wiretapping program?
Just to finish about Gonzales' stonewalling to Congress, I think that what is really scary is that if you go back and look at what was suggested in those emails that they're not producing, one of the things that was possibly suggested is that there would be a mass purge of the attorneys, the U.S. attorneys, and we really need to think forward, you know, what kind of scandal, what kind of terror that would be for the United States in the event of a close election if there had indeed been a general purge of the attorneys. And so I think we need to get it that they're not playing by the rules that we've come to believe for over 200 years you have to play by in the United States. We have to get it that it's a different ballgame and act accordingly. It's a crisis.
The people who were fired were political appointees. There was no law broken, so all of this is a stupid little gotcha game that you Democrats are playing in order to keep Washington tied up in little knots. Well, congratulations. You've been very successful at that, but you know what? We are in the middle of a war in which we are facing very serious consequences, long-term consequences, if we don't win it. So I suggest you get your mind focused around something important for a change.
Okay, let me go to Craig for a second. Just a second, excuse me. Let me ask you, Craig, about this thing. I agree with Melanie. This thing doesn't seem to grab the attention of regular people. This is a primary interest to people on the Democratic side, the leadership like Chuck Schumer, people trying to get Democrats elected. They have found an issue that unites their party. They can't find unity over the war in Iraq, so they got unity over this baby. Is this really going to cut with anybody? Are we going to lose Gonzales? Are we going to see the Democrats gain on this? What's going to happen?
Well, I don't think that the public's not hugely interested in this, discounts the story.
But don't they think U.S. attorneys are political appointments, period?
Sure, and I don't think many Americans are they're riled up about this story, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't be pursued. I mean, we've got an attorney general who probably lied to Congress, and FBI director who's, you know, unwittingly perhaps providing supporting material for that claim. The question is, do we care? The president obviously doesn't care. He's going to keep the attorney general.
He keeps looking at the camera, the president, saying, what did he do? What crime did he commit? He does it like, and maybe it's Alfred E. Newman, but the president doesn't seem to know what crime he committed. Will somebody tell him? What would you say he committed? Perjury?
Certainly. I mean, he lied to Congress. I think that is a fair charge that needs to be proven, you know, beyond the shadow of a doubt.
We're going to come right back and talk about...
the preponderance of evidence shows that.
We're going to come right back and talk about this issue of what happened to Dick Cheney. We showed a tape of what he said back in '94. To me, it's astounding. He was better back then at describing what's happened in Iraq than anybody criticizing his policy today. We're going to take another look at that. This is, to me, anthropology. We'll be right back with the Roundtable. You're watching it, Hardball on MSNBC.